All right, so today, thanks for joining us. We're gonna make some springtime pasta on a beautiful day. The weather cooperated for this recipe, which is awesome. Before we get started, I want to introduce myself. I'm Matt Maldonado. I'm the Student Services Manager at Tandon Online. Been at NYU Tandon for over 3 years now, I think going on 4 at this point. Cooking is a little bit of a hobby of mine, something I like to do. Also a survival tactic, I think, is how I got into it, but love food, love eating it, definitely a foodie. So excited to share this recipe with you all today. First thing I wanted to go over is just some of the equipment you might need if you're making this along with me now or in the future. You're going to need 3 stock pot or 3 saucepans, a smaller or like a large saucepan, a bigger pot, like a stock pot, and then a Dutch oven. And the Dutch oven is what we're going to actually make the risotto in. In our large saucepan, I have chicken stock. You could use vegetable stock as well. I already have that coming up to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, we can lower it down, but we want hot liquid that we're going to infuse into the risotto. And then this pot, it has just water in it. I'm going to actually salt it right now and bring it to a boil. What we're going to be using this for is to blanch our veggies. If you're in a smaller kitchen or you don't have as much equipment, you're definitely able to roast your veggies or saute them in a pan. I'm going with the blanched method today just because it'll brighten up the vegetables and be really green and kind of like what it's doing outside is brighten and freshen up and makes it a little bit lighter because you're not using as much oil and butter in the recipe. The reason why I use a Dutch oven for the risotto is because it has a heavier bottom and that heat is going to distribute and maintain more consistently with that type of pan. So with risotto, that's important so it's not sticking throughout the cooking process. Because it'll be about 30 minutes to cook risotto. It's definitely somewhat of an challenging dish from what it sounds like, but it's actually not too bad. The other thing is if you're not using stock, either vegetable or chicken or any other type of stock, you can always use water and salt it. The one difference with salting your water for risotto versus pasta is you don't want it to be too salty, like the sea, like how they recommend to salt pasta water, because this water, unlike pasta water, is being absorbed right into the rice and it'll be that super salty taste. So you want it to be probably half of that, half the amount you would put in pasta. But I'm just using chicken stock that has some salt in it, and then we can salt and pepper later on to season. So to get started, what we're going to start with is chopping up some garlic and some shallots, which are the base to the risotto. So I'm going to do 2 cloves of garlic. Done this beforehand. Any questions so far? Doesn't look like it. All right, so I've got 2 big cloves of garlic here. When cooking, I always recommend to start prepping your stuff ahead of time. Right, so we've got the stock and the water coming to boils, and then we're going to start prepping the ingredients for the risotto. Also, a handy little container is always helpful to throw your scraps in, so that way you're keeping your area pretty neat and clean for when you're prepping. For the garlic, once you peel it out of the actual bulb of garlic, if you just put your knife on it and place the blade down, and just smash it a little bit like that, you're going to get the skin to come pretty much right off. And then, again, if you place it at an angle, it's just a quicker way to dice this up. We're going to go for like a fine dice or a chop. You just smash it, and you're going to get that smash on it. You want to make sure you got the angle down so that way you're not cutting yourself. These are pretty big pieces of garlic, but then we're just going to chop this way. And while you're chopping, watch your fingers, keep that thumb tucked. And we're going to get a pretty nice fine chop on this. And this is going to be pretty garlicky. with these two big bulbs, you could always, manage how much you want to put in there based on your preference for garlic. Let me chop up that other bulb. You can also do, so there's variations of risotto that you can make throughout the, throughout the year, depending on the type of, if you're looking for fresh ingredients, you can do it throughout the year. You can also do it, year round. Some things that I always like to make a mushroom risotto. So I would, while doing this, I would also be chopping up some mushrooms to throw in at this point with the shallot. For today's though, our veggies are gonna go in at the end. So we're not gonna they're not gonna be part of the base for the risotto. So I'm taking a shallot here, I'm cutting it, and you cut this just like an onion. If you're using a sweet onion, you can do that as well. You just get all these peels off of it. This is also something you're gonna wanna dice pretty fine. That way you don't want big chunks of onion and garlic. We're gonna end up softening these down, but we don't want big chunks to be part of, the bites of your risotto. You just want the flavor for these. And they will cook down pretty well as we're making the sauce to this. And the shallot is just like I said, like an onion. It's not as potent as an onion, but flavorful. I like to use them. I always use them in my Italian cooking, whether it's sauce. But like I said, an onion's always a safe backup. I think I'm actually only going to do one of these because this was pretty big. You don't need to use, since that was a pretty big shallot to begin with. You can cut a shallot a couple different ways, like an onion. I always do just a rough chop. So I'll make slices like this. And then after the slices, just kind of pile it together in the board. And we'll just do a rough chop to try to get this as fine as possible. If you have real good knife skills, you could cut it, still connected and attached. And what you can do is you slice it this way, not fully through the back end, and then in this, like, through it long ways, and then you get a more consistent, even cut. You'll see that a lot of times on cooking shows. For the sake of time and potentially not cutting myself on screen, we're going to go with this rough chop method. All right.
Yo, Matt, you got the good knuckle skills. Cutting with the knuckle, right?
Yep. Gotta keep those fingers away. All right, so now we're going to start that base. Our stock is coming up to a boil, so I'm going to lower that down. Our water's still coming to a boil, so that's perfect. We're going to put this Dutch oven on a medium heat, and here we're going to add olive oil. I eyeball it, but it's probably about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to throw that in there, and then as that melts and comes up to heat, we will add our shallots and our garlic. And we're looking for a light, a translucent consistency or cook on the shallots. We don't want them to get brown. We don't want anything to burn. If you burn the garlic, it's going to be, if you burn the garlic, start over. Because it will just taste really bad. But it happens. I've done it before. So you just want to really keep an eye on it when you're doing this. One other thing that after they get there, and when we get to that point, my recipe calls for wine. I forgot to buy some wine, some white wine. So you can add that in here as well. Today I'm just going to use the stock, which is fine. It just won't have as much of an acidic bite to it, but it'll still be very good. So butter's coming down. I'm going to add this in. We are going to. I would highly recommend for anyone that's likes to cook a lot. Go into your local restaurant supply store. If you're in the city, Chinatown has some awesome little stores. But buying like these deli containers was the best thing I've done. Great for prep and getting everything together in time to be cooking. And then just dump it in like that. They're also dishwasher safe if you're lucky enough to have a dishwasher. Recently moved and upgraded to that, and it is life changing. So I recommend it when that time comes for you all. So now that we're sweating those, we're just going to keep an eye on them. Washing your stock as well. You don't want your stock to come up too much, leave it too long for a boil, because if you do, then you're going to it's going to evaporate and you're going to lose some of that. And you really want about 4 cups of that for this whole dish that you'll be ladling in, a couple scoops at a time. Butter's coming down here. In the meantime, I'm going to get our rice ready, so our boreal rice. So we're going to do a cup of that for this recipe. This should serve about 4 people, or 2 dinners and 2 lunches. If you're cooking for 2, if you're cooking for 1, you got a nice couple meals ready for you. And if you have the leftovers and you want to kind of mix it up and you're sick of the same thing, grilled shrimp would go great with this, and grilled chicken, some salmon. This is going to be a white risotto, so it's going to go well with seafood, where a red risotto might not as well. So we're coming, you can hear them sizzling a little bit. If it's coming, it's frying a little, pan frying a little bit too much, you can lower your heat, which I just did. We don't want that to burn on us all brown. At this point, probably halfway to where we want it to be. This is when you can add your wine. That'll help with softening of the garlic and the shallots. Like I said, I don't have that, so we're going to just let those cook through. Thinking about what else we're adding to this to make it springtime pasta. So I got some asparagus. I have some sugar snap peas, and then I have some shelled green peas that we'll be doing. My farmer's market only had asparagus. It did not have any of the fresh peas, so luckily Wegmans had some fresh stuff. But you could always use frozen. I've done that before too in a pinch. Any vegetables are good and useful for it. Any questions at this point? No? At this point, this should smell fragrant. You should start to smell the garlic and the shallots. That means you're just about there. Stirring it.
Yeah, yes, Matt. What do we do if we don't have a Dutch oven?
That's a great question. So
thank you. I thought so. miss you, buddy.
You could use a big stock pot like this. You just got to keep a closer eye on it. You could also use a big pan, like a frying pan that has a higher ledge on it. The only thing that the concern there is that the fact that it's gonna, it might stick, or they get hot spots in those because they're not as thick bottomed. So you just got to be careful with that. So we're starting to get a little.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great. So we're starting to get to the point here where we're almost at a browning. So you add the risotto right in at this point, and you kind of want to get a little bit of a toast on this. So another minute or so. So you mix that all around, get the butter and the oil on that real good. I'm gonna switch over to my spoon. I'm actually going to turn the heat down a little because I see some browning. But if you have that browning, that's okay on the pan, because once you hit the hot liquid to that pan, it's going to deglaze it. You'll infuse some of that flavor into it, as long as it's not that burnt garlic flavor, which it doesn't look like it is, so we should be good.
I'm sorry, Matt. I have a real question now. I'm not joking around. I've never made a risotto where you add I thought that you add the broth to the rice slowly. So this is different?
Nope, that's exactly what we're doing.
Oh, I thought you just added the rice to the broth just now.
No, so there was no broth in that pan yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So there was butter, oil, the shallots, and the garlic. And then you add the rice to the pan. Now we're gonna go with the broth. So that is exactly the way you cook risotto. I do like 3 scoops, as you'll see, because it is time to do that. And you'll hear that pan deglazing there. So I'm gonna do 3 scoops to start. And you're gonna wanna, once you add those 3 scoops, you're gonna wanna stir it around. And this is where your senses come in. So you want to listen when your back's turned. So when I'm prepping, I'm going to keep an eye on or keep my ear open to hear what the pan is doing. If you don't hear the bubbling of the water, your liquid's being absorbed into risotto. So what makes risotto creamy is that the starches are being released and the liquid's being absorbed, and that's what gets the creaminess to it. There's actually no cream in this recipe. So
Professor Maldonado.
you want to keep your ear open to hear what's going on in the pan. Also your eyes, so keeping an eye on it. It is very easy to watch it disappear. So just keeping an eye, stirring it occasionally. The intimidating recipes, if you watch it on TV, right? Anyone that watches Food Network competitions, risotto is like the #1 thing not to make, right? Because it's, takes a little bit of time and you got to really focus and it's hard to do in a time crunch. But with 30 minutes, you could easily do it and still prep veggies to blanch while you're doing this. So there's no, you don't need to be intimidated. You just got to be focused on it. Definitely not a meal to like throw on the stove, walk away and do something for 10 minutes and come back. But also not one that you have to be constantly stirring. Like, I feel like I watched shows that had told me that, in the past.
Sorry, chef. I would say risotto is a lot more complicated than you're making it seem.
It's still an easy one though. So I'm taking the snap peas and I'm actually going to slice them to be a little bit smaller pieces, and I'm going to cut the ends off as well. This way you're not, right, risotto is a kind of just a fork or spoon type of meal. You don't want to be worrying about pulling out a knife to cut out these snap peas. So you want bite-sized pieces. So I'm going to cut up a handful of these. I already bought the peas shelled, which is awesome because then there's no work needed there. Make life as easy as possible, especially on a work night or a night where you have a ton of homework to get done.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You bought the. I didn't hear you. You bought the peas. What?
Say that again.
You said it sounded like you bought the peas off shell. I don't know what that means.
They're shelled already. So I bought green peas as well that are not in a shell. So these are like.
Oh! All right. Sorry.
No,
I didn't know that terminology.
Nope.
I'm not a chef.
You look. So in the store when you're looking, you're going to want to look for, if you're looking for those fresh peas, they're going to be called. They're green peas and they're called shelled. Like that's the description to them. So I was using my senses there and heard that, you kind of tell that liquid was kind of gone. So we're going to add another 2 scoops to this. Slow, methodical process of just letting the rice absorb the liquid. And then we're going to get back to chopping here. The other vegetable we have here is, I have asparagus. So I'll cut up a few of those. You can also roast the asparagus. So let's say you don't have all of the pots that you need to get this done and do it by blanching. So feel free to roast it, throw the oven on at like 375, toss them in some olive oil, some salt and pepper. You could also do the same thing and just kind of saute them in a pan, any of the vegetables. Just a little bit harder, more work for the peas and the snap peas to do in the pan because they take a little bit longer to cook. If you want to go like extra steps, you could blanch and then saute them to add some more flavor. But then you're also adding a little bit more, the fat of oil and butter. So if you're looking to be a little healthier, or again, time crunch wise, you don't need to do that.
You're getting fancy there with that blanching stuff, sir.
The blanching is actually extremely easy.
Isn't that dipping it in ice water, right?
Yeah, so and in this case, you don't even need to fully put them into ice water because we're gonna not serve them cold. So you don't need to fully stop the cooking. And I'll show you that in a few minutes. So basically cut off about
Thank you, chef.
2 inches of the asparagus bottoms. And then you just
The butts.
you want about an inch piece is what I'm gonna say. You just cut them on a diagonal. You don't need to.
I never heard that before, actually. Thank you.
Cut them, keep the heads, kind of don't want to cut those at that point because they'll start to fall apart. But I think I took about 6 of these pieces of stalks of asparagus. I'm gonna actually do a couple more because I like asparagus. And it was on sale, so I gotta use it up.
Who in New York City has asparagus just lying on their counter?
So
Except for you.
I'm not in New York City anymore, so that's one. But
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, chef.
but no, you can find asparagus in almost all the grocery stores these days.
Oh God, are you in Jersey?
No, I'm in Pennsylvania.
Oh, all right, that's right.
So with the asparagus, you can find it at the farmers markets this time of year. That's why I picked it. Same thing with the peas. I think being in Pennsylvania, it might be a little too soon. Might not have been, the perfect weather to be getting spring vegetables out at this point. But you will, in New York City, there's definitely a wider range of vegetables.
I'm sorry. Those peas were from the farmers market?
So the asparagus was, the peas and the snap peas were not. I bought those at Wegmans because they didn't have them. I went to the farmers market looking, and I think it was just too early in the season.
No, I'm sorry. That's why I asked. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm gonna add another scoop or two here. I'm also going to, at this point, taste the risotto to kind of see where it's at. Right, cooking really is with all of your senses. You want to see, hear, feel, taste. So it's definitely still crunchy. So we got some time to go on that. So you're stuck with me a little bit longer, but we're getting there. This will definitely need some salt as I'm tasting that, but you don't want to do that till the end. We are going to add some cheese to this, and the cheese will add salt content as well. Our salted water is coming up to a boil, so we can start to blanch the vegetables. You can do this in 2 different ways. You can do it all at once, which I'm going to do, but you can also do them individually if you're concerned that your different types of vegetables are either cut at different sizes or going to take a little bit longer to cook or shorter time to cook. These all should only need about a minute or so. Actually, I'm going to do them separate. I'm going to do peas by themselves. They go right in. You're going to give it a minute. I'm going to fill up the bowl with some cold water. I'm not going to do the ice bath method. You can, but I want them to still cook a little bit when they come out. But this cold water is cold enough that it should be okay.
And I'm sorry, chef. Why would we want to blanch before we add to the risotto?
Because you're not going to give. There's not going to be enough time to cook the vegetables in the risotto, right? You'll start to overcook your rice if you do that. So doing this gets these cooked to the consistency or the doneness that you want. But then you're able to just add them right at the end, mix them in, and then you have one cohesive dish. Also, you're not getting a ton of flavor out of these vegetables in the sense of like infusing it into the risotto. Now, let's say you were doing a mushroom risotto. I throw my mushrooms in finely chopped with my shallot and my with my garlics because we want to infuse that flavor into there. But this,
sorry.
I was gonna say this is really a cheesy risotto that's gonna be adding some of this bright fresh green green vegetables to it.
I mean, to be honest, I was actually when I looked at the recipe, I was a little bit, you know, I was like, the asparagus threw me off, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
No, not to say it's bad, but I'm just saying that I just haven't seen that before. That's
Yeah. I mean, the things that you can do with risotto is crazy. So I'm going to add the asparagus and the snap peas together because they're going to cook about the same. They're going to go for about a minute and a half. I am going to test the pea to make sure I did that long enough. I like mine a little crunchy, so, and not crunchy, but have bite to it. So those are perfect for me. All right, so we're definitely absorbing liquid here. I'm going to taste that again. It's crazy what 2 scoops did. Those 2 scoops of water absorbing have set that to, you know, another point in the of being done. So we're going to add another 2 scoops. Then what we're going to want to do is, those are coming to a blanch. They're about done. So I'm going to take those out and add them with these peas.
Oh, dear.
And we'll strain these a little later. These really popped color. I don't know if you can see that from there. I'll bring it over in a second. But the amount of bright greenness that's going to be added to this kind of blah looking dish just from adding, you know, these veggies is unbelievable. Great way to, you know, if you have people over, this is a great meal because you can make it in a big batch, just kind of double or triple, you know, when times are normal and we could get together again. It's great, it's filling, and it's pretty simple in the sense of like, most people like it if they've had it or are willing to try it if they haven't.
Right. So, so Matt, was that an invitation to visit you once we open up again?
All right, so I'm gonna cut some parsley. I know I don't think this was on my list, but I do this just to, you know, add a little bit of top at the end. Not necessary, just a little bit of presentation. If you're looking to impress anyone, there you go. Way to do it. Just a rough chop there. Again, one of these handy containers just to keep that for later. All right, so I'm using Pecorino Romano cheese, so we want to get the cheese sort of ready at this point because, as I said before, we're getting close with the taste and the doneness of the rice. So with that, I have about a cup of cheese. I grated this myself in the food processor just because I buy block cheese, but it doesn't matter what kind of cheese, whether it's Parmesan or Pecorino. You're going to want to keep half of it for topping purposes, and then you're going to take this other half and you're going to actually ladle in like a scoop or 2 into the cheese container in this liquid. And the trick behind this is that you stir it and it's going to liquefy the cheese. In doing that, make sure that the cheese doesn't clump when you add it to the hot pan. And you're not getting, you know, risotto is not a cheese pull type of dish. So this is going to help almost emulsify that and bring it into and let it infuse into the rice. Need a little bit more sauce for this. Or a little more stock, sorry. Some people will add cream. One of the best risotto dishes I had was a summer one. I forget where it was. It was at a fancy place, but it was restaurant week, so it was super cheap, so I took advantage of it. And it was creamy, and it was a corn risotto, and it was excellent. So there are so many different types, as we were saying. I'll make risotto balls or arancini, and I'll add tomato paste to just this basic recipe, so it adds a little bit of tomato to it, and that's great for a risotto ball. Learned that style of a risotto I worked at an Italian restaurant as a waiter growing up, and that's how they made theirs. So I dumped that cheese sauce that we made into the pot here, and we're coming down to the end. Timing is And great, as I said, right? 30 minutes or so just to make this, not that hard, Dan, right? You just watched me make my dinner, which is great because I did not eat lunch today, so this will be perfect. If you want to stir and really incorporate that cheese into there. At this point, I'm going to taste it one more time to see where the salt is at. And also add some pepper once we add the salt. Yeah, I think once that really absorbs, that should be good. We're going to add some salt. And some pepper. As this liquid starts to really absorb into this rice here, we'll taste it again one more time to make sure that we don't need to add any more stock, which we can. And then we're going to add right at the last minute our veggies. We're going to strain out these vegetables. And you can see how bright and green these are now. And the perfect onions. They have a little crunch. Maybe a little bit longer if you don't like that crunch. I don't like that. Personally, like mushy vegetables. But I know everyone has their own preference on that, so feel free to make it to your own liking. All right, done with this. No more cutting. Making sure we're good. Any other questions before we're getting ready to plate?
Looking good.
Sounds good. Make sure you turn off your stock pot. So that way you don't burn anything. If you have a smaller stove, you can, and you can't fit everything on the burners either, right? If you have an apartment stove, you can heat your stock up and then just put it in a bowl. Maybe cover it with a lid or cover it with some foil to keep the heat in it. Making it hot is just going to help it quickly absorb into the rice where you're not adding room temperature liquid.
Sorry, but I mean, your stove is not the biggest either.
It is
No.
not. No.
Sorry, dude.
But no, I'm thinking of like some stoves, apartment stoves have 2 burners.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. But I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at you, I'm like, yeah, you don't got those like 6 stove pot things, water.
Yeah, not yet. When I buy a house one day, my kitchen will be a little bit different.
Trust
So
me, I don't either.
this will this needs just a little bit more liquid. There's a little bit of a bite to it still. So I'm gonna add, that was basically 1 more scoop. We almost used all 32 ounces of that. Again, depending on how it's cooking, you might use it all. You might use just a little bit under. You want to keep stirring it at the end here though, because I am like it's gonna stick when because it is creamy, it is cheesy. It's gonna start to stick.
So you would not recommend that everybody use all their stock?
No, you use it. You don't need to use all your stock, is what I'm saying. So like, go with your gut on how it tastes.
Yep. I was just asking.
You know that. Yeah, no, appreciate that.
I'm trying to treat you like you're like a Julia Child. So there you go.
I can't do a good accent of her, otherwise I would have.
Julia Child.
All right, so now that's almost all absorbed, I'm going to dump in the veggies right into there. We're going to stir those through, gently kind of folding them in. You can turn the heat down at this point.
I'm sorry. Again, you're using a specific type of a pot.
A Dutch oven, yes.
All right. So Low lives like me that don't have that. I can just use a big pot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just got this recently, maybe in the last year or so. But I've
Is
been,
that is that like it makes a difference because is it a ceramic ceramics inside or something?
no, so this is just like ceramic, or this is just like stoneware, or like cast
Oh,
iron.
stoneware. Oh,
Yeah. Um, the biggest thing with it is that the bottom's heavier, so it absorbs the heat, maintains the heat, and distributes the heat across the pot. Where these pans, right, these types of stainless
regular. Yeah.
stick stuff, you'll get hot spots and you'll see it. I could, if this didn't have liquid in it, you could kind of see where there's little burn marks in it from just hot spots of being on the
Hmm.
heat for so long.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
Mhm. All right, so we're gonna scoop up a little bit here for two.
Nice.
Top it with some cheese.
Beautiful bowls as well.
It's all about the presentation. Some cheese, some parsley.
Oh,
I like a little fresh cracked pepper. And I'm sure when I get it to my wife later, she'll add some salt to it because she loves salt. And that's it. That is your meal.